Story 2, Unseen, Chapter 4, Sleepless. The suffocating confines of Mark's room offered no solace, the heavy silence amplifying the turmoil within. Seeking a breath of fresh air and a momentary respite from the oppressive edginess, he ventured out into the cool embrace of the night. The recent days had twisted reality into a disorienting nightmare, and Grace's perturbed shift in demeanor only added another layer to his growing discomfort. A deep sigh escaped him, a gnawing nervousness subsiding in his stomach as he wandered down a nearby alley. The chill of the night caused him to instinctively wrap his arms around himself to ward off the cold that seemed to seep into his very bones. Just as he was about to turn into a narrower passage leading toward the glow of a convenience store, a figure emerged from the shadows. A strange man, cloaked in a black hood that obscured his features, sat hunched in a darkened corner. His voice, low and gravelly, cut through the quiet of the night.
Death is following you, mate.
Mark stopped, a tingling of agitation raising the hairs on the back of his neck.
What the fuck did you say?
He asked, cautiously approaching him, one eyebrow raised. He rose, his form unfolding from the shadows.
You can't escape death, especially when it was passed on to you.
Passed on? What the fuck are you talking about?
Mark uttered with disbelief and burgeoning alarm.
Having dreams lately? Seeing yourself dying or dead?
His words struck with unnerving accuracy.
Yeah. How do you know that?
Mark was now unexpectedly intrigued, but he offered no explanation, simply turning and walking away, his hooded figure melting back into the darkness. A vital necessity for answers forced Mark forward. He ran after him, his hand gripping the man's shoulder, halting his departure.
Hey! Wait!
He led Mark deeper into the intricate alleys until they found a secluded alcove where the secrets of the night felt contained. He introduced himself as Todd, his eyes holding a strange, knowing glint. His words sent an unsullied surge of icy trepidation through Mark. He claimed they shared the same affliction, that he could see the ghostly figures that now seemed to surround Mark, a silent, unseen audience of the deceased.
How can you see them?
Mark asked, his voice barely a whisper.
When your time is drawn near, you either see them or you feel the presence of those who are also close to the veil. In your case,
he continued, his stare stanched,
seeing you surrounded by so many, it gives me the impression that they are going to try and take over your body. Or perhaps you're cursed. By the way, you will start seeing them soon too.
Cursed? Who would curse me?
Todd remained silent for a moment, then pressed a loosely shaped voodoo doll into Mark's hand. Its touch and texture sent a shiver of revulsion through him. He instructed Mark to acquire something belonging to his supposed tormentor, a ring, a photograph, and attach it to the doll.
You need to place this doll under your victim's bed, directly over the hex that was chanted with black magic. And when your victim sleeps, their soul will journey to another dimension, the dream world. As their spirit returns to their body, Death himself will follow it back. But
his voice dropped, his gaze intense.
Once someone has transferred their death or curse to you, you're in serious trouble. You will die, definitely, and there's nothing you can do, unless you can find out who did this to you and kill them. That would be the only way to save your life.
His explanation was delivered with a petrifying matter-of-factness.
Wait.
Mark stammered, clutching the grotesque doll.
I don't know how to do any of these things. And I don't want to kill anyone just because I've been cursed or I'm about to die. I don't have the guts.
With revulsion, he thrust the doll back into Todd's hand.
I'm not crazy and stupid enough to believe that such things exist. And why am I even standing here listening to a lunatic like you?
Mark's tone was piercing with a denial of the terrifying possibility the man had just presented. He turned to leave, wanting nothing more than to escape the smothering grip of his words. As Mark walked away, Todd's voice, with an alarming urgency, resonated behind him.
Watch out for sharp objects! And don't trust anyone. They will cause your death.
His words were lost in the rising tide of Mark's own panicked thoughts.
Death! It will follow you wherever you go. Even in your dreams. You could die. You could die while sleeping.
Todd's final, flustering pronouncement lingered like a smog in Mark's shaken thoughts, a dark prophecy clinging to him like a shroud. Back in the relative safety of his boarding house room, Mark emptied his pockets, his phone, a few loose coins, his worn wallet, and placed them beside him on the bed. He checked his phone for any message from Grace, but the screen remained stubbornly blank. Yet, it was Todd's ominous words that truly bedeviled him. True or not, they had planted a seed of terror that was beginning to sprout in the fertile ground of his recent experiences. As he lay down on the bed, seeking the rest he needed, his gaze remained fixed on the blank ceiling instead. Sleep felt like a treacherous invitation. Still, tiredness was a weight on his eyelids, and he closed his eyes. But instead of the oblivion he craved, a horrifying image flashed behind his eyelids. He felt a presence, and his eyes snapped open. A figure in the mirror, a vaporous white lady with hollow eyes that seemed to impale his very soul, stared back at him. A ruthless rush of terror bolted toward him, making him sit upright, his breath catching in his throat. Frozen and rooted in place, Mark watched as she stepped free from the reflection, no longer confined to the mirror. She was standing before him, an ethereal company that sent him tumbling backward, losing his balance and crashing to the floor. He lay paralyzed with horror, helpless, as she glided toward him. The lights in the room flickered repeatedly, shaking him to his core. Then the dying lights, his fleeting salvation, died, plunging him into darkness, only to blaze back on in an instant. The returned light betrayed him as it illuminated his small room, revealing it to be infested with them. Disgusting, dead people whose skin and flesh dripped away from their bones. The sound of their flesh dropping on the floor was a wet slap, splattering rotting meat and fluid. Maggots, dislodged by the impact, writhed and coiled in the folds of the muscles. Their outstretched hands reached out, as if they sought to claim the very essence of his being. They swarmed him, and all he could do was scream. Out of the blue, Mark gasped, his eyes bursting open to the sight of his bedroom ceiling. Again, it had been just a nightmare, but this time, the shocking realization struck him with brutal truth. Perhaps Todd had been right all along. Panic clawed at his throat. He didn't know what to do. To seek Todd out felt like walking further into the darkness. Yet to remain here felt equally perilous. Motivated by a predisposition for self-preservation, Mark rose and gathered every sharp object in his room, knives, scissors, even the broken shards of a forgotten picture frame, and locked them away in the drawer. The mirror on his wall felt like a malevolent portal, and the sharp edges of the window jalousies seemed to shine with a sinister intent. He wrestled them from their fittings and carried them out of the room, depositing them in the hallway. Finally, he locked the door behind him. The click of the bolt was a small and insufficient barricade against the invisible terrors that now haunted his waking and sleeping hours. This would be a long, sleepless night. If you liked our short story, please hit the like button. If you want more of our original short stories, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook. That's it for now, fellow night owls. Until next time, good night, sleep tight, keep the mirror out of your sight.